Alright, good evening folks, it's Enforcer Matt and welcome back to another Short War video, and today we have very big news coming out of Ukraine, and also we're getting some very big news out of Chechnya, because today the leader of Chechnya, Ramzan Kadyrov, is saying that Russian ministers tried to assassinate him and they're plotting his assassination again in the future, and right now he's declaring a blood feud against the Russian MPs, and this is a very tense situation because right now Chechnya and Russia are both working together to fight Ukraine on the front line, and also back in mainland Russia. So this could prove to be a very big inflection point for the Russian and Chechnya relationship, which could affect the war going forward. So we're keeping an eye on that. And also we're hearing of a major attack by Ukrainian drones on a Russian airbase, causing evacuations of civilians in mass. And also we're hearing of nuclear exercises starting off in Europe as a result of NATO trying to combat the Russian threat. But with that, we're jumping into our first article of the day, which goes to Nexta. And this is the biggest story of the day. Like I said, the Chechen leader Kadyrov is now claiming that several Russian MPs and senators ordered his assassination, and he declared a blood feud against them. And at a meeting with the leadership of Chechen security agencies, Kadyrov said that the deputies and a senator had ordered his assassination, and he also said that the assassination attempt was linked to the partition of Wildberries, one of the largest companies in Russia, and the threats of blood revenge were uttered in Chechen. And this is verbatim what he said. He said, quote unquote, "Unless they prove otherwise, I officially declare blood feud against Barakev as well as Karamov and Kurbanov, and these are witnesses, and there are people from whom they ordered, asked how much you can accept in order to eliminate Ramzan Kadyrov for." So we are hearing right here from Kadyrov that he is alleging that Russian ministers tried to assassinate him, and that is a very big deal because, like I said, there are some very deep ties between the Chechens and Russians, and this could lead to the entire relationship blowing up. So once again, it mentions down here at the bottom of the post that Kadyrov had announced the end of blood feuds in the Republic a while back in 2010, but it seems like he is bringing that back now, and this is potentially a very big deal. So we don't know much about it just yet, except for he is declaring a blood feud, and we'll have to keep an eye on this because this is very big. But with that, we're jumping away from this story and into our next one, and this one goes to Status 6 military and conflict news. And in addition to the Chechen situation popping off, which we will get more information about very shortly, we're also hearing in this post that Ukrainian drones targeted the Kayanska airbase located near Maikop in the Adiga Republic in southern Russia tonight, and that this airbase is the home of the 272nd Training Aviation Base operating L-39 single-engine jets. And also we did see in the videos here that Russian air defenses attempted to repel the attack, but it looks like the air defense in Russia was unsuccessful, and it looks like a lot of these drones from the Ukrainian side were able to hit their target and destroy parts of this airbase. So let's take a look at the video. Alright, so right here we see the sign of the airbase, and there was a big boom out in the distance. That was one of the drones impacting the airbase itself, and of course it is the nighttime. We really can't see exactly what is happening out in the distance, but there is impacts being recorded on camera, as we can hear right here. But we also have yet another video showing the impacts as well, and we'll jump into that one right here. And let me go ahead and enlarge this and restart the video so we can see it in its entirety. And right here in the distance, you'll be able to see there goes some sort of missile or something right there. That might have been air defense impacting a drone right there. But whatever the case is, in just a moment you'll see here there is an impact right here on the base, and it is going to explode right there out in the distance, and that was a direct hit that the Russian air defense was not able to take out of the sky before it hit that Russian air base. So once again, successful hits on the air base, and we don't know the extent of the damage just yet. For example, we don't know how many aircraft were taken out of this air base, but we will be getting that information in the coming hours and reporting that on either tonight's stream or tomorrow's stream, so stay tuned for that. But we're jumping into our next post here, and this one's going to go to Null Report. And not only were aircraft also messed up by this attack right here, and we don't know the exact number like I said, we're also hearing that around 1,300 people were evacuated in Russia after Ukrainian drones hit the military airfield, and also we're told that a fuel and lubricant storage facility was also likely destroyed, says the CBT head Kovalenko. So we are hearing for a fact that there was destruction on the base. We did see the impacts in the last video, but now we have confirmation that a storage facility was hit, and also several aircraft could have been taken out as well, and we're simply waiting on confirmation. But also the big thing is as well, they had to evacuate 1,300 people, and we all know how bad the Russians tried to avoid evacuating people. In fact, that is the last thing the Russians like to do, because it basically indicates that there was a failure and they're having to get their people away to safety. In the Russian view, that's a very bad thing. So for them to do that, it was quite a severe hit. And right here we see the aftermath of this attack. There is that large plume of smoke, and this is also the same vicinity of the area where the 1,300 people had to be evacuated to get out of the danger zone right here. and the Russians did take those people out. So once again, we are seeing the aftermath of that attack, which was very large indeed. But with that, we're jumping into our next post here, and this one goes to Status 6 Military and Conflict News. And this attack was so legendary that Ukraine's HURMO published footage from the drone attack on the Russian airbase last night, and we can also see at the beginning of the video here, it appeared to be a Bober long-range OWA UAV, and we're about to take a look at that video right now to let you see a picture of the drone that was responsible for carrying out this attack. So let's take a look. And right here, you can see the Ukrainian Bober drone on its way to hit that airbase out here. So there it went. That was the drone responsible for all this damage out here in the distance that we're seeing right here in the video. And most of this footage right here, we just got done watching. So we're not going to watch the entirety of this video. But once again, all that footage right there was seen to be impacts on the base. But with that, we're jumping into our next post here. And this one's going to go to Nexta. And we're also getting more news about the oil depot in Feodosia. Of course, it has been burning for quite some time. It was hit 4 days ago. And we're learning today that it's also now burning for the 4th day in a row, and there's no sign on the horizon that Russia plans on getting this thing under control. And we can see here that local residents report that black smoke is still rising over the horizon, and due to the use of water to put the fire out, there have been water supply problems in the city, and also the quality of drinking water has also worsened, according to the Water of Crimea company, and of course it is still not being put out. So the Russians are clearly trying to use water to put out an oil fire, which is not what you do. I'm not even a firefighter, and I know you don't do that. So they're once again making that grave mistake, and in the midst of making the mistake, they're also starving their citizens of water in Crimea. So it is a clown show down there once again. The Russian fire department is incompetent, and this fire is raging out of control, as you can see right here in the picture evidence. So once this video or this picture loads right here, you can see there is the place on fire right next to the civilians, which is not good for breathing quality. And there is another view as well. You can see it's actually going over the terminals and the ports here on Crimea's shore. So not good whatsoever for the Russians, but once again, great for Ukraine. But with that, we're jumping to our next one, and we actually have another video. This is a video of the fire in Feodosia, so let's take a look. And as you can see right here, the entire place, this is the 4th day, by the way, people. This is not the first day of the fire taking off. The whole place is going to burn down. I can almost guarantee you that at this point, the entire oil depot is going to go up because the thing is spreading here. They're putting water on it, which is making it worse. And I cannot believe they have not learned that lesson yet. Like, that is just baffling to me that the Russians cannot figure that one out. But once again, it's going to go up in blazes, and they're going to be running out of oil in Crimea, at least in this port, pretty soon. But with that, we're jumping into our next article, and this one goes to War Translated. And remember, we just reported a few days ago that South Korea says that the North Korean soldiers are already in Ukraine fighting on the front lines on Russia's behalf, which is very concerning news, of course, indeed. But we can see here that we get more information about the North Koreans' involvement, and The Guardian reports that North Korean military engineers are supporting Russian forces in Ukraine by assisting with the launch of KN-23 short-range ballistic missiles, and that those engineers are working behind the Russian lines and not on the Russian lines, and they're helping to maintain and operate missile systems aimed at Ukrainian targets. And the KN-23 missiles, similar to Russia's Iskander, are a key part of this cooperation, and North Korean personnel are likely involved in both technical support and also training. And remember, these are still preliminary reports, so while we are hearing that these North Korean soldiers are allegedly behind the lines helping in support roles, that is not a guarantee, because South Korea is still saying that they're fighting and dying on the front lines. So whatever the case is, we are confirming that North Korea is in Ukraine right now, and we don't know the real extent of their involvement, but they are there fighting for Russia or either supporting them behind the lines. So either way, the soldiers are there, which is very concerning, and we're still waiting to see what the NATO response is going to be to this new involvement by North Korea. But with that, we're jumping into our next article, and this one goes to Nexta. And we're also getting some very big news from NATO. This is a NATO announcement, by the way, that nuclear exercises are going to be underway in Europe, and on October the 14th, which is 4 days away, NATO will begin its annual exercise to defend the alliance's territory with nuclear weapons, and more than 60 aircraft will take part in the Steadfast Noon exercise, and the organization's Secretary General Mark Rutte announced that the maneuvers will take place in the airspace of the UK, Belgium, and the Netherlands. So once again, a very big exercise right here to ensure that we are deterring our enemies from trying to attack our alliance. But one thing I do want to call BS on real quick, it says down here at the bottom of the post, NATO emphasizes that the Steadfast Noon exercises are not a reaction to Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine. That is just total BS. guess. I'm not even sure why they would try to emphasize that, because it's clear that Russia is one of the top priority enemies right now of the West. So what else are we trying to deter if it's not Russia? That makes no sense whatsoever. And once again, it's NATO trying to tamp down any bad feelings about Russia getting threatened or something like that. They're trying to basically de-escalate even in the midst of a nuclear exercise. So that's just really silly all the way around, but that is what it is. But jumping into our next post here, we have one from Walter Bloomberg, and this is going to transfer us over to our Israel news a little bit, because we do have some Israel news to cover. And Walter says that Channel 14 in Israel is reporting that the President of the United States asked not to attack nuclear or oil facilities in Iran on Israel's part, and the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu responded that this is a historic opportunity and one they really should not pass up. So on this one, I say let's just wait and see, because at this point we've heard pretty much everything across the board. We've heard statements saying that the U.S. is asking them not to hit the nuclear facilities, and we've also seen reports as well saying that Israel is going to hit the facilities. So right now we really do not know what the case is going to be, but we'll just simply have to wait and see. But with that, we're jumping into our next article, which is also about Israel, and this one goes to Inside Geopolitics. And we're also hearing that today the Israeli Security Cabinet will meet this evening to discuss their plans to attack Iran. And another thing that some people might be noting at this point is it seems like Israel is dragging out their response quite a bit, because they've been saying they've been meeting with the Security Cabinet for days now, and so far we have not seen a response from Israel. So I once again, I suspect that it's probably the West trying to talk them out of severe actions, and that's probably what the holdup is. But nonetheless, it seems like Israel is really dragging their feet on this one. I'm not sure really what they're waiting for here. Maybe they're carrying out a psychological operation on Iran to make them think that maybe they're not going to attack. I don't really know what they're up to at this point, but Israel is waiting quite a long time before responding to this situation. So we'll have to wait and see what their plan is on this entire situation. But once again, they are meeting this evening, so we should hear something. But with that, we're jumping into our last article of the day, and this is just something I had to include in the news because it was so baffling to see this actually, and also disgusting. I had to show this to you. So this is actually about Ukraine and Russia, and we got a picture today of a Photoshop for a school photo album in Russia, and this is sick. This is a children's school yearbook or photo album, and this is a young child right here holding a weapon of war and also wearing a military uniform. It looks like the child is maybe 6 or 7 or something like that, a very young child, and also next to a tank firing and stuff like that with fire all around him. So I don't know if this is like the Russian vision for what they want for their children, but this is sick all the way around. I'm not sure what the hell's up with this, and it's really disgusting. And it really just shows that Russia will go to any length to start indoctrinating the children, even at such a young age, and even convince the parents that this is normal. I'm not sure if the parents get this yearbook and think this is horrible that our children are being indoctrinated like this, or if they're like, oh, praise the motherland of Russia because they love this. I'm not sure what they think, but this is not good at all. Really sick. But anyways, that is our last post of the day. So I hope you found today's video informative. We did have quite a bit of news coming out today. Mainly the big piece of news is the Chechen situation, which we are watching very closely to see what's going to happen with that. And also, if you did find the video informative, please press the like button on this video and give us a big thumbs up, because it does help us get the news out there. And also subscribe to the channel as well to be kept up to date with all the news updates. And if you want to keep up with the news minute by minute, go to our Twitter page. Our Twitter handle is @It'sTheEnforcer, and over there we post stuff every single minute of the day, pretty much, about what's happening in Ukraine. So be sure to keep up over there. And also, if you want to support our channel financially, you can go over to our Patreon page, and the link is in the description below for Patreon, where you can sign up for a monthly membership and support the channel that way, which is a very big help, because we are crowdfunded by the viewers, and it's you, the viewers, that make all this possible. So we'll see you all tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern on our nightly war news stream, and with that, bye-bye for now.